Good morning, people in Jakes and people all around Vanier listening to this awesome radio station. My name is John Lioumbas, and to my left, well, rather, you can't see her, but she is Franca Mignacca. And hello, and we are going to do a very, very special podcast and slash radio show for you guys today, and those of you who are listening online. Say hello, Franca.
Good morning.
All right, so what are the topics that we're going to talk about today?
Well, first of all, this weekend is Nuit Blanche, which is a really awesome free night where you can get to do like a bunch of stuff downtown.
Downtown? The
Yeah.
metro's open the whole
The
night.
metro's open literally the whole night,
Oh
like
my
even
God.
bus service.
That's
Yeah.
great. Well, shout out to all of those going to Nuit Blanche because unfortunately for me, I'm going to a party which is being held during Nuit Blanche but isn't actually gonna be a part of Nuit Blanche. But hey, we all have things to do, right? We all are going to go to do stuff. But Nuit Blanche is definitely awesome. I've been before and it's gonna be a lot of fun. Metros are always annoying when they close at around like 1-ish every time. So basically, it's gonna be an awesome trip. Go. There's gonna be festivals, events, everything fun. Go have a good time on a Saturday. Forget about exams for like maybe one night, and then Sunday just go ahead back to cramming because we all know that we do that. You're a liar if you don't. All right. So next note on the before we start on the actual topics of the show, I wanted to do a small segment for a previous show that just happened. It was relatively just happened. It was the Grammys. And we missed that. The radio station was not up during the Grammys time. So I wanted to know what you thought about the performances at the Grammys, Franca.
To be perfectly honest, I did not see all of the Grammys.
Oh, okay.
I'm more of a film person than music, but the performances that I did see were okay. I found they were better in previous years, but they were all right. Actually, what I found more interesting was the after Grammy show where they did a tribute to the Beatles.
Okay.
I thought that was really well done, but I also thought that Yoko Ono should stop dancing because
Oh my
no
God.
one wanted to see her dance, you know.
Yoko, if you're listening to this, I'm sorry on behalf of my co-host. She is, I don't know. Not that
true.
Yoko Ono would be actually listening to this.
No, but come on, like everyone said it, like
Everybody
you know.
thought it, but you're
Yeah.
the one who said it. So Franca Mignacca on the record. On the record right there. And this is going to be heard amongst students. And some adults. Anyway, I liked the Grammys rather, and I just feel like the Grammys cater so much towards the pop culture scene, the new pop culture scene with all the artists that just, in my mind, they don't really try. Like Beyonce doesn't really try in her music. I liked the mashup between Kendrick Lamar and Imagine Dragons in their radioactive. Sorry, I nearly said Nickelback for a second.
I actually, come think of it, I did see one performance from the Grammys that I found super interesting, and that was Robin Thicke with
Okay.
Chicago, and I thought that was just such a great mix, you know?
Yeah.
Like, because they're both from sort of, one's a really old band and one just sort of up and coming, and I thought that they melded well together, and I would like to see something like that done again.
It's always good. It's always good when you get like a pop star and mix it in with rock. It goes so well together. And that's also one of the things that what I liked about Kendrick Lamar's performance is that he did manage to add to Radioactive the song by, putting his lyrics. And the one thing about Kendrick Lamar that I love is that he raps about things that actually matter to him. It's not like he's a guy that has a story to tell and he's telling it through his music. It's not somebody who's going out there and saying, okay, I just want to get like $100 or money, just like, it's obviously more than $100, but just want to get a show and do stuff. So like Kendrick actually has a message that he wants to send to people who actually listen to him. So I am not a big fan of rock. Rap. I'm a big fan of rock, but I'm not a big fan of rap music. Sometimes because it becomes a little meaningless. But older rap, classic rap, as I like to call it, like late 90s, early 2000s, Tupac and Biggie and Eminem when he was coming up. Like, that's rap. That's rap that has stories to tell. Even though Eminem started off with like a Slim Shady type of deal, and you know, he was crazy and he did fun songs, and he also rapped meaningful raps. But Eminem is a great rapper, and Kendrick Lamar, I find, is just gonna be the newer version of the newer generation of these types of rappers, because he has a story to tell. It isn't something that is just there to fill time, you know, and make money and become famous just because, for the sake of it. Anyway, that was my thought on the Grammys. I really enjoyed them. I always enjoy the Grammys. And so next topic, Franca, is what?
Okay, so like a lot of people think that Montreal is not culturally rich, or we don't have a lot happening. There's a lot. That? There's unfortunately a lot, but actually there's a cool new exhibit that's coming up at the Contemporary Arts Museum in Montreal. It'll be there from February 22nd, so it's already started, and all the way until April 20th, and it's called The Clock. And basically what it is this really cool mashup of a bunch of different film clips where you can see actual clocks in the background. And what the guy did was he made a 24-hour-long film using only those clocks. So it's as if you have a live working clock, but in film clips. So I thought that was like really unique and really interesting. And what they do is they have actual continuous 24-hour screenings where you can go and you can lie down on couches and just see the whole thing. Yeah.
That's so awesome. That sounds really relaxing.
It is. It's on Fridays and Saturdays that they have the 24-hour thing. Oh, okay. So it's pretty awesome, yeah.
All right. Oh my God. 24 hours on a couch, just think about nothing. You know, if I didn't have responsibilities and like other things to do, I'd probably go there for the whole time.
My plan is actually to go there for the whole time, believe it or not. I want to see, it's interesting because I mean, he took from all different film eras and whatnot also. So if you're a huge movie buff like I am, like this is going to be something that, you know, would be really interesting and really beneficial to watch.
That's awesome, Frank. Like, I'm glad you brought this up because I really wanted to segue into the cultural arts section of Montreal. And, you know, especially here at Vanier, we do have a very vibrant communications department that supports all these people and all these upcoming students slash artists slash videographers slash whatever you can think of, and this is really creative avenue. I think that modern art has a way of just it delivers a message. Basically it delivers a message of whatever. So most of the time it's about the past, yeah, and about history and some form of that, but we have such an interesting message to tell, and it's very abstract yet very, very subtle, and it's something that you can extract a lot of meaning out of, and that's something that I'm really interested in seeing.
I think what's cool also is that, like I see being a communication student here, is that there's actual people that want to see original work being done in the film industry, because I find there's too much repetition now and too many people that just make films for the money, and it gets a little exhausting to watch. And I find it cool to
like
see
Winter's
that.
Tale?
I haven't seen it, so I can't speak.
Okay.
But I mean, come on, like Fast and Furious, for example, how many sequels can you possibly make of the same movie? You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, now that they lost one of their main actors,
yeah,
I mean, it's sad that Paul Walker died, and it's really depressing. He's a great actor,
but they're still making them.
They're still making them, and it's almost like insulting his memory in a sense, because like afterward you just make one movie and dedicate it to him and then just end it. Because I get the Fast and Furious franchise is something that, you know, is awesome. You know, I've watched all of them and I enjoyed most of them.
Yeah.
There's that one movie there that they kind of, you know, messed it all up, and I don't know, but it rhymes with Tokyo Drift. Why did they kill Han? Oh my God. Anyway. But everyone at this time, it's not considered a spoiler. It's not considered a spoiler. It's like saying Bruce Willis was dead at the end of Sixth Sense. It's still not considered a spoiler because it's been so long.
And I apologize to anyone who hasn't watched Sixth Sense, because that was a really massive spoiler. Let's not talk about Fight Club while we're at it. Okay, yeah, let's move on.
We're not talking about Fight Club. Yeah, no, but I find no, but like you know what? Someone spoiled The Sixth Sense for me, and everybody spoiled The Sixth Sense for me. They said that he was dead.
I haven't actually seen The Sixth Sense yet, and I pretty much know the whole plot just because it keeps it. There's so many spoilers nowadays that like there's no avoiding it.
The thing is that it's become such an old movie where it's like spoilers for me take on 3 years time. 3 years, enough for the movie and time to like the DVD to get sort of mainstream and popular. Then it's spoiled territory. You can spoil the movie because it's that old, and it's almost like you can't talk about a movie without spoiling it nowadays, and just like saying, okay, you can't properly analyze, because I also do like blogs and stuff about movies, and I often have to like restrain myself, because like, okay, if I want to write something that I didn't like about this movie, but it's also considered a spoiler in a sense.
Especially if it's like the end of the movie.
Like Winter's Tale. Okay, to anybody listening, do not let your girlfriend, because I know you wouldn't go watch it. So like, do not let your significant other drag you to this movie.
Yeah, and just okay, to be honest, I saw the trailer for the film and it does look really amazing, but apparently it's not. So
okay, here's what happens with movies like that. Like if you judge through the trailer, like a lot of people do, because that's the only thing you can see through the movie, obviously. But people are paid to make good trailers and to make a movie look interesting. And the minute they have your money to go and pay to see this movie, they just don't care about you anymore.
Well, it's not just that. It's that with trailers, I find the frustrating part is, like, a lot of these directors put in clips that have actually been cut out of the actual film. So it looks so good. Like, you see, especially with comedies, you see the most hilarious clips, and then you go and watch the movie, and it's not even there.
No. The first time of that instance that I heard was back in the day when I was a youngin' and I saw the Incredibles trailer. And there's so many funny scenes, and I'm like, oh my god. And I watched the movie. The movie was a great movie.
Yeah.
I loved it.
Although I can't say I liked it as much as the other films that came out at that time, but yes, it was
The
good.
Incredibles was very creative.
It was great, yeah.
I loved Frozone as a supporting character. That's just it. And the whole concept of it was great, because we all see superheroes as these people that are like, yeah, superhero, and then you chose like the other side of life, and the legal issues and blah blah blah, and how people cope with being. It's almost like it almost transcends the athletic story where a person becomes like a high school football playing star, and then out of nowhere, throughout turns of his life, just goes and forgets all about the sport that he loved as a kid, and then goes and revisits those memories. And it's almost like that in superhero form. Like, it's almost like the glory days, those days were so great, and then that's narrative that people use all the time in life. People experience it, and which is why it made such a good movie, because people can relate to it. Whereas there are some movies like Winter's Tale. Yeah, it's becoming the joke of this episode. If any of you,
I realized that.
If any of you don't know what Winter's Tale is, let me just give you a brief synopsis. Okay, the main character's name is Peter Lake. That's it. That's all you need to know. It's a bad movie. That's all I needed to know.
All you need to know.
Okay, that's all I needed to know. Because anytime you name your main character Peter Lake make it as cheesy as it was, oh God, it was almost like I was taking a copy of every single fantasy romance ever, making it slightly worse, putting it together, and then selling it.
No, but you have to admit, like, the actual concept behind it was original.
Yeah,
it was very badly executed.
Yeah, and it showed the concept through the concept through the actual beginning of the movie, because the way they set up their characters and their themes, it was great.
For those of you who don't know, like, it's the story of. Well, I'll let you explain it because you actually watched it. But be honest this time. Don't just over insult
I am honest. I'm always honest. Anyway, basically, it's about a story of a person named Peter Lake, and basically, it's a half biblical, half fantasy love story where he falls in love with this girl, and he's a thief, and he owes like favors to his boss, which turns out to be a demon. And that's not really a spoiler. Yeah, it's not really a spoiler because they show it in the extended trailer. Okay. But the whole movie is centered around like biblical, not yeah, biblical setting, and his boss turns out to be a demon, the old boss, and he's trying to hunt Peter Lake down, and you know, Peter Lake has to like try and save this girl with this condition, and she's also the girl that he loves, and it's a very interesting concept. And then out of nowhere, they introduce time travel, and I'm serious.
Yeah.
They skip through years. This movie's set in 1915, and out of nowhere, like his boss gets the better of him. This was shown in the trailer, by the way, so it's not really a spoiler.
Well, no, but to be honest, that's actually why I wanted to watch the film, was because of the time travel aspect.
Oh my god, no! But they totally.
But if they made a hash of it, then
they totally wrecked their character development with that time travel element.
Okay.
Because they developed these characters in a certain time zone, and then out of nowhere, the main character travels through time, and it has to like sort of find his destiny. And then out of nowhere, it's just like, ugh. Like, you meet these new people who you don't even get enough time to like,
Yeah.
And if I don't get enough time to like a main protagonist, a little girl who seems very nice, and, these are the types of characters that people design for you to like. But I didn't get enough time to like them. They didn't develop their secondary characters well in the second time zone. So
that's the problem with a lot of new scripts, though, is that they don't know anything about character development. They're just focusing too much on the actual plot.
We're the experts, by the way.
Oh, I have been watching movies since I was like 3 and analyzing each and every one of them, from like The Lion King to American Hustle, and so.
How dare you mention those in the same sentence?
What?
Yeah,
American Hustle was.
It was great. It was a great
amazing.
movie, but it's not Lion King. Like
No,
Lion King,
nothing is
I
Lion
don't
King.
cry at movies. I
Nothing
don't
is
cry
Lion
in
King,
movies.
yes.
But Lion King made me emotional.
I actually didn't cry at Lion King, but I see what you mean. Yeah, it was. Yes, it is still my favorite movie of all time. And actually, speaking of American Hustle, the Oscars are Sunday.
Ooh, we're talking about the Oscars now. I was waiting for this bit. You don't understand.
Of course you were. I wait every year. I count down the 365 days to the Oscars, and it is on Sunday, so we're
Will
almost
Leo
there.
finally get the golden statue he's looking for?
I hope so, just because he has been nominated so many times. It would be very frustrating if he didn't. And the sad thing is, he won't. He won't.
Oh.
I made predictions, and he won't do it.
Let's do it. Let's do the predictions before you spoil your predictions. We were talking about spoilers before. Let's do the predictions. Okay, Oscar predictions. You already know the most important part.
Sorry?
You already know the most important part, that my colleague here doesn't think Leo will get an Oscar this year.
Oh, I know he won't. I hope he does, and if he does, I will be very happy. I hope I'm wrong, but I don't think he will.
I think a lot of people hope you're wrong right now.
I think, unfortunately, it's going to be Matthew McConaughey.
What?
Yep, Matthew McConaughey for his role in Dallas Buyers Club. And it frustrates me, but that's how it's going to be. Yeah.
Oh my god. Well, you're predicting what they're going to pick. You're not predicting what you're going to pick.
No, if I were to pick, it would be Leo. Because, there's only so many times I could watch an actor be nominated and lose, After a while, you feel their sadness. You feel, the empty feeling that they do.
Yeah. Basically, I feel like the same way. It's like predicting sports. I do a sports column, and it's frustrating because you want your favorite team to win, but they're just not gonna, because for some middle reason.
It's the same thing with Best Actress in a Leading Role, though, this year. Sure, we all want Leo to win for Best Actor, but Amy Adams just as much should win Best Actress, because she keeps getting nominated year after year, and I keep watching her lose, and she's just so incredible. And it would be very unfair to watch her lose again.
All right, so less actors, more movies.
Yes.
Let's go ahead and see what movies you got on your list, Franca.
American Hustle, first of all.
Okay, not a surprise.
Is nominated, and I think it's gonna win.
All right.
Just because, it's gonna be close with 12 Years a Slave, but judging by the SAG win and the Golden Globe win, and the Screen Actors Guild Awards are are more important than the Golden Globes, actually. And American Hustle won for that, so I think they're going to win for the Oscars also.
Mhm.
And I don't know if you've seen it, but it's actually really great.
What, 12 Years a Slave?
No, American. Well,
Oh.
I haven't seen 12 Years a Slave, but I hear that's amazing too.
You made predictions. You haven't.
Well, no, you don't need to
No,
see the
yeah,
movies
you
to
don't.
make predictions.
No, you don't.
I have midterms to study for.
Oh. Excuses already off the bat. We're off great. Okay, no. American Hustle. I've seen both. I think American Hustle pretty much takes it.
Yeah.
I found that you go to a movie and you go there to be, to some extent, entertained, but it's not a quip to all those dramatic movies that are even if a movie makes you cry, it's still entertaining you in some way. Like, to entertain doesn't mean joyous. And in terms of entertainment factor, I found that, like, I was more interested to see what happened in American Hustle than in 12 Years a Slave.
Well, what I liked about American Hustle is that it combined a bunch of different genres into the same film. Like, each of the characters had really complex things to go through, and you saw them and they struggled emotionally and you struggled with them, but at the same time they were hilarious. Just the posters were hilarious. Like, look at Bradley Cooper's hair. You can't keep
Look
a
at
straight
Christian
face.
Bale.
Look at Christian Bale. You can't keep a straight face,
Oh
you know?
my god.
But at the same time, it was action-packed, and and the soundtrack, I have to say, is the best one I've heard since Almost Famous.
Since Almost Famous. That's
Yes,
a bold claim.
that is a very bold claim,
Bold
yeah.
claim. What about The Wolf of Wall Street with Leo? You spoke about him like earlier as one of the best actors, even though you didn't predict him to win. But I mean, Wolf of Wall Street, I mean, come on. I mean, that was a fun movie to watch, you know, Leonardo DiCaprio going, "Hey." What was that? Yep. Alright. Sorry for that small cut. But yeah, no, The Wolf of Wall Street was an entertaining movie. I enjoyed it. It was funny. I was more laughing at, like, the whole concept of it, and then out of nowhere it's almost like with Leonardo DiCaprio movies is, at first you go to the movie and you're like, come on, Leo, come on, do something great, and then out of nowhere you just get transfixed by his incredible acting talent. I think that's the way you should judge an actor, not by the way he actually performs in the film, but by the way he grips you, like, and makes you believe that he's that person, because the way the actor acts is ultimately up to the script to decide. If the script asks for a very emphatic person, then the actor is just going to portray that emphatic person. Depending on how good the actor is, then you have your result, which, Leonardo DiCaprio is a very banking leading man. And we have a lot of those in Hollywood, though. I wanted to say him, but he was in Winter's Tale.
Oh, Colin Farrell, do you mean?
No.
Is that it? Which
one?
one?
No.
Which one?
No. You don't. I don't know if anybody knows that he's in it, but I'm encouraging people not to watch it, so might as well,
Yeah.
Yeah, he's in the casting list. It's Will Smith.
Oh, okay.
Okay, Will Smith is one of my favorite actors. He's very good, and he can portray both, the comedic type role, but he could also be a very dramatic actor, and you could believe him in both.
I have to say that in recent years, like, one of the best actors that just sort of surfaced, and he wasn't nominated this year, and it sort of frustrates me, would probably be Joaquin Phoenix.
Joaquin Phoenix.
That's
a bold claim, but he's a very good actor. Like,
he is amazing.
Gladiator was amazing.
I actually liked his performance in Her, just because even though it seems like a silly idea, I mean, a man falling in love with an OS, but at the same time you just sort of feel sad for him. Like, you can sort of relate to him. It's incredible how he acts.
Joaquin Phoenix has this dramatic range on his acting is just unparalleled, in my opinion, because he can just go so deep, which is probably why, like, in terms of issues, like, he's had a lot of issues in his life at this moment, but you can see that the entire dramatic area of his acting is so well tuned, and he's so easy to get into his character. He can get in there and do the dirty emotional work. And as an actor, as a previous actor, I mean, I find that extremely commendable because I know exactly how hard it is to do. And it's terrifying. You have to go to a dark place for at least, you have to prepare yourself for 3 months of completely depressive state of mind, and you have to be that person both when you're not on screen or on stage and while you're there. I mean, it's a toll that the body takes so harshly, and to be able to do that and to be able to be very good at that is very commendable. I totally agree with your pick.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, it's really hard to be able to portray all those different types of people, but he does it very well. So, and yeah, that brings us to the fact that Her was nominated for Best Picture.
Yay!
It's not gonna win, but
what if it does win?
It's not gonna win.
Oh.
I wish it. I
give
sort
me
of
hope,
wish it
Franca.
would,
Give me hope.
It's not.
Oh.
Yeah, but the interesting thing about Her is that it's just so different from anything I've seen in years. I have never seen anything like it. Just the whole, and it's so true also. It just has this message inside it that, you know, we're all losing connection with fellow humans, and it's true, you know?
Yeah.
It's sad to see, but I've
in
seen
one way
so
or
many.
Another.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because you have the modern like quote unquote social era where it's like devices. I don't know, like I didn't see Her, so I don't know what it's about, but in terms of that topic, it's a very interesting narrative for a movie to take, and I expect to see more movies of disconnection to loved ones and like that, because it's more of a symbol to how we are today with the way we are. You know, how we have all these devices, how we have all these things that distract us from each other. And that's why whenever I'm talking to a person, I don't text. Like you don't. It's disrespectful, because it's almost like you're not as important to the person who I'm texting right now. Even though you might not mean it at all, that's how it comes off.
Yeah. And what I found like hilarious is that while I was in the theater, like my pet peeve is people just like on their phone in the theater, and the message behind Her was that we're losing touch with our culture and we're losing touch with, you know, each other. And in the meantime, I see people, you know, sitting next to me actually on their phones.
Oh my god.
And I thought that was just pathetic.
Oh Jesus.
But for those of you who don't know, the plot basically of Her is that a man is going through a divorce, and he's going through a depression because of that divorce, and then he gets a new operating system, and this operating system actually has a conscience. Like it's not like the OSs we have now. It takes place in the future, and it can think for itself. And so he starts having conversations with her, and eventually it escalates, and he falls completely in love with her. So yeah, that's the plot of that one.
All right. Well, speaking of disconnection and everything like that, I want to play us a small break song so that. Hello and welcome back to our radio talk show, and I'm still John and she is still Franca, and we're here on for another 20 minutes of fun. Oscar talk was the last topic, and we are going to continue on that Oscar talk, but we're going to bring in a very, very, very exciting new point, which Franca is going to make right now.
There are a lot of Montreal nominees this year, and I am so proud about that, because I'm a huge fan of Montreal film. I mean, I'm a fan of all film, but I'm a huge fan of Montreal film. And for example, Dallas Buyers Club is up for Best Picture, and I'm sure a lot of you don't know, the director of that film was born in Montreal.
What? Represent. Oh, I'm so lame. I should never do that again.
No, but it's great. Like, I didn't even notice that, to be honest. I've heard of Dallas Buyers Club, obviously, because it's been nominated for Best Supporting Actor and Best Actor, and Jared Leto is amazing in that, playing what is it called? Cross-dressing.
Cross-dresser?
Yeah.
Transvestite?
Yeah, that.
Okay. Transvestite.
That
small thing.
Sorry, I'm blanking out on the word here.
God.
So yeah, he was playing a transvestite in it, and he won already quite a few awards for that performance, and I'm sure he's going to win this one also. And yeah, in Dallas Buyers Club, it was a Montreal director that directed it, but he's not alone. There's actually, for the film Her, the score is nominated, and that was done by the Montreal band Arcade Fire, who you probably did not recognize by their actual names, but that is who it is.
Oh my god.
And that makes me completely proud because I've been a massive Arcade Fire fan for years now. So.
Oh, I haven't listened to a lot of Arcade Fire, but they're a very, very good band, and I'm not even surprised that they were chosen to go do a movie and rock it out, you know? Well, not rock it out, but like do the score and be awesome at it. Like this promotes Montreal film and music scene even more, and that's so important, especially with the cultural vibrancy of Montreal as a city. You know, imagine if we can just get more promotion and more directors and more like actors to like come here and like blossom and like really take on the Montreal film industry, and that would
it.
just be...
Well, I'm not too surprised either that they managed to work so well for that film, because that is a Spike Jonze film, and they've worked with Spike Jonze before. They had an album called The Suburbs a couple of years back. Okay. They won a Grammy for that, actually.
Yeah, no, that was the album.
Yeah, that was the massive album that like everyone knows.
A lot of people criticize that win, but I actually listened to the album after they won the Grammy because I didn't understand it either. I was like, well, Arcade Fire, I like them, but I don't know, but they made an album that was an album. It wasn't every song fit together so perfectly.
It all told a story, and that brings me to my next point, is that they made a short film called The Suburbs, actually.
Oh.
A very short film, and it comes with like different sets of the DVD, and it was Spike Jonze that actually directed that, so that's why I'm not too surprised that they worked well together. Yeah,
no, anytime you have that chemistry between, you know, director, sound people, and you know, it's a wonderful thing. You guys, like, most people don't know, you know, hey, what does it sound like when it works well? But people know what it sounds like when it doesn't work. And you see, it's like, wow, the music's really off, eh? You know, I've been to those types of movies, and you know, I can't hear what I'm experiencing in the movie, and it's really bad. It's really bad if you have a bad soundtrack.
Well, that's what I always say is the most important thing is the score, really.
The most important thing?
I would
Bold
say...
claims from Franca.
Yeah. Number 3.
Number 3.
Yeah. No, but seriously, like, without a good score, the movie could very well suck. It really can.
Yeah. No, it could be very bad. I mean, and then you have movies that have great scores. And
Requiem for a Dream. Oh I mean... Yeah.
I think I might watch it one.
Or anything by Hans Zimmer, really.
Yeah, and then you have movie musical like fusions, we'll call them, but the movie musicals, obviously the one everybody liked, which was Les Miserables, and every single song in there just
last year
perfectly.
At the Oscars last year, the theme was musicals.
Yeah,
which I found awesome because they had performances from relatively older. So Chicago, which I thought was fantastic. The only one that I was missing was Sweeney Todd because I'm a huge fan of Sweeney Todd.
I've never actually seen Sweeney Todd.
You must. It's amazing.
Yeah, you'll hit me up on that next week's topic, Sweeney Todd. Sweeney Todd and my first experience with the Sweeney Todd. But I really hope it's not another Rocky Horror Picture Show type thing, because
it's nothing like that.
Okay, good. No, but like not the actual movie. I'm saying like the experience, because I remember everybody telling me, "Oh yeah, go watch the Rocky Horror Picture Show. You know, it's great." And then I went to go watch it, and it was a bit meaningless. Okay. And I hope Sweeney Todd's not like that.
Oh no, not at all.
All right, not at all. I'll probably enjoy it then.
There's also a nomination for Best Documentary, or rather Best Short Documentary, but I can't remember which one is from Montreal right now.
We have their notes right now, but we're looking through them. It's not marked there. But anyway,
Yeah, but anyways, point is, one of them was nominated too, and from Montreal. And what frustrates me is that I find in the media we've sort of, because we didn't get nominated for Best Foreign Film, we're not really looking at, you know, hey, Montreal's being represented at this year's Oscars, but I find it's actually being represented more than usual, you know?
Yeah, no, exactly. You just proved your point with all the examples, and we have such a vibrant culture here in the film and everything
And in
here.
music, there are so many new Montreal bands that are just the most amazing things I have ever heard. Have you ever heard of The Damn Truth, for example?
No, but I will listen to them after this podcast.
Yeah, well, just to let you know, like, Janis Joplin had one of the best voices ever, okay?
Ever.
And-
Another bold claim by Franca.
Number 4. And, yeah, no, but she did. And everyone sort of misses that voice, you know, because she did die young.
Yeah.
And,
A lot of people died young.
yeah, well, they have a whole club,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
Club 27, I believe? Is it 27?
I don't know. I
Yeah,
wouldn't
Club
know.
27. Jim Morrison, her, Amy Winehouse, and countless other people. But yeah, she had a really incredible voice, and the singer of The Damn Truth, which is a Montreal band, sounds exactly like her pretty much,
Oh.
which is crazy. But she's the first singer I've ever heard that actually sounds close enough to her. So
Oh.
I would suggest everyone check out that band.
The Damn Truth. And speaking of bands to check out, I'd like to shout out to everybody who's at Vanier, who's in or starting a band, and I would like to represent them a bit on a segment nearing the end of each radio show that we do. Because we are nearing the end, we only have about 15 minutes. I wanted to bring this up because I know that we do have a lot of talented musicians here at Vanier College, and it would be a shame if we do a show about music and, you know, about Vanier and about Montreal and, you know, the whole music and art scene here without including some artists that are here. So I would like to play songs from you guys. I'll check them out. You can hit me up. I'm usually in the newspaper room, which is right in the D building on the first floor, you know, right next to Jake's, and it'll be right there. You just say, hey, I got a demo, or you can hit me up on my Facebook, John Lioumbas. It's great. You just send me a message, link to your song, video, whatever. Contact me through Twitter, same thing, John Lioumbas, and I'll hit you up. I'll see if we can give you some time on the air at the end of each show, and we'll hopefully make some things work out. You know, I'm really excited to start repping the Vanier bands because I know that I know some personally, but I know that we have a lot of very talented musicians here.
Both inside and outside of the music program.
Oh, yeah. Like,
I'm in communications, but I'm actually starting a band of my own.
Oh,
and
yes, repping Franca's band now.
it doesn't have a
Bold claim
name.
number 5.
Oh my gosh, no.
No.
But it doesn't have a name or anything,
Oh,
so
okay,
let's not. Yeah.
We'll call it the Franca band. That doesn't that have a nice ring to it? The
No,
Franca band?
no, it
Okay.
doesn't.
Oh,
But just to
ooh.
say, I mean, you play bass. You're not in music, so just even if you're not in music, if you have a band,
Please,
whether you're in music or not, please do.
please contact us.
Contact
try, and because there's nothing more enjoying for me would be to like list some very, very promising musicians. And I know personally there are some bands that came out of Vanier that were very, very good. There are 2 that come to mind right now. There's Barton Fink and there's Abigail Calling, which actually I knew the lead singer to, Pat DeMaio, and he's really talented, and they were so good. And I really wish that there was a radio station at the time, you know, to sort of rep them up and like sort of get a very nice cult following here at Vanier College. Because, I mean, if we have a lot of talented musicians around here, why not rep them? Why not enjoy the fruits of what we have here and do shows, attend shows, pay, and, you know, have fun. And that's what music's all about, right? Having fun, playing music, listening to nice songs, sometimes drinking a bit, you know, having a fun party, having fun time. So yes, come hit us up for the Vanier bands thing. Then after that, what do we have to discuss around here for our last topic? Okay.
I actually just thought of something that's super interesting that you should all look up online if you are into film. There's this group that made little renditions of each of the nominees for Best Picture with small children as the actors. And I thought it was the funniest thing Like especially the American Hustle one, they have this little kid with an afro, and it's adorable and
Oh
it's
my
funny
God.
and it's really well done. So just look that up.
Well,
it's called Oscar Kids.
Oscar Kids.
Yeah, just Google that and watch it.
Google Oscar Kids.
Watch
Advice
it.
from Franca, who thinks the soundtrack is the most important part of the movie. It's very important.
Okay.
Both
It's
segment
a
number
very important part. I
Yeah.
didn't say it was the most.
Yes, you did. We
Okay,
have it on the
whatever.
record.
Whatever.
We're gonna check. We're gonna check. We're gonna check
Okay.
that recording on that.
Writing is actually the most.
Writing, script writing.
Script writing is the most.
So
And
that's on
score
record.
comes number 2.
Score. Well, isn't that a section of technically script writing? Yeah,
It depends on the filmmaker,
It's
believe it or
musical.
not.
It's musical script writing.
Well, it depends on the filmmaker. Like when I say script writing, I mean the actual storyline and the actual lines of the actors.
Okay.
So that's the most important part because as we saw with the Green Lantern a
Oh
few
my
years
God,
ago,
don't remind me
scripts
of
can
that.
very badly mess up a movie.
Terrible.
So-
Terrible. And you know, Ryan Reynolds is not that bad an actor.
No,
not
he's
that
incredible.
bad-
And he's Canadian.
And he's Canadian, yeah,
Yeah.
repping Canada right there. But I mean, he's a good actor, and that movie just made him look so silly because it just. I have a theory for superhero movies. If anybody wants to hear it, but the more powerful you make your superhero, like Superman or the Green Lantern, the worse the movie becomes.
Yeah.
Like you have Batman who has no power, and yeah, he has money, but I mean, there's no real power, and he makes amazing movies because there's so many conflicts that a character like Batman can face. There's emotional trauma to the character's core development. His parents died. I don't know if that's a spoiler.
No, that's not a spoiler.
That's not really a spoiler.
If you didn't know that, I apologize, but you should know that anyways.
You should
so
know that Batman's parents
no offense
died.
to anyone who didn't.
Okay, and there's emotional trauma there, and you could really emphasize that. And then the Chris Nolan Batmans just did that so well. Maybe not the first Batman, but the second Batman.
And I have to say with Chris Nolan, I was really disappointed because I liked the Batman rendition, but not so much when he wrote a script for Man of Steel. Because once again, that was a movie that the script did not do very well.
The Man of Steel, it was such a mixed bag for me because it wasn't as awesome as the movie was portrayed to be.
Yeah.
Because with Superman, you can only really have there's only one real, conflict he can face, and that's a psychological conflict because he's so overpowered physically. And yeah, there's kryptonite, but in a movie, to make it interesting, you have to have some sort of other outside conflict, physical tribulations other than kryptonite to make a nice movie. Anyway, that's it, and you also have to have good villains.
That's it.
But
I tell you, the script, you have a bad script, you will have a bad film.
Yeah,
that's the number
terrible.
one rule ever.
Yeah, number one rule ever.
Yes.
Guys, you hear
Yes.
it? Bad script eequals bad film. And on that bombshell. No, we're not gonna
end the Top Gear style. No,
No,
that's
we're
fine.
not. No.
Okay.
Anyway.
So I wish you all very good luck on